Alright, we getting funky on a Saturday night. A little 70s disco music in the background. We're here at League of Legends, soon to be changed to a different name. But we'll talk about that in the Madden 17 video. Right now we're talking about power rankings. This is for mid-season. We'll call it mid-season because I'm so behind with everything. But I appreciate everyone being patient. Um, my job sometimes can get a little crazy, and it's a crazy week. For those of you that don't know, I'm what they call a fire life safety coordinator, and I do it for a group of hotels in a very rich part of Charlotte, North Carolina. And sometimes those hotels can be quite demanding with different things going on. So I appreciate your patience, and hopefully it'll never happen again. But anyways, from the bottom to the top, here we go. Number 32, Minnesota Vikings. They hadn't played a game all season. I've been patient because he's been a good owner in the past, and he says his PSN is back, but he's in Florida, so this week's game will probably end up being a sim, is what it looks like, and he's out of playoff contention, but he could play spoiler down the line if he does play his games. Um, Next couple teams are open teams. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. Number 31, Black Knights. Number 30, Denver Broncos. Another guy who's been on a 7-week vacation. I questioned some of that, but it's all good, whatever. Number 29, New York Giants. Let us remember the famous Giants owner who always said he was on acid, and then he told me to suck a dick, so that's why he got kicked out of the league. It's not a good idea. Number 28, Green Bay Packers. Talented team and just not getting it done, man. I don't know, what else to say other than they're still in it somehow. The NFC North has been what the NFC East was last year, where nobody's really stepping up to claim the division. And I think he's only 2 games behind the division leader, and he's like 2-7 or something. So, if you get hot, you might sneak in the playoffs, and you never know what might happen from there. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals. Unfortunately, they're in a very tough division. And, being on vacation when the season started, they started off in a hole. And just, it's kind of gone downhill from there. So, kind of disappointing because they have a lot of speed on that team. And going into the season, I thought they were really going to be a threat within the NFC, but things haven't really worked out that way. Number 26 are the Ravens, and same deal. Start off in a big hole. He did get a big win over the Steelers, I believe, most recently. So, I mean, you got at this point, I think he's 2-7. You got to win out to have a wild card shot, maybe, if that. But I love Bruce and what he's done for the league. He's one of the best owners and co-commissions that we have, obviously. 25 are the New York Jets. I mean, when you just gotta play, man. I mean, I wish I had more to say on some of you guys, but some of you guys don't come around that much, and when you do, it's usually when I'm looking to see if you've played a game or not, or if you've scheduled it. And the Jets, they're one of those guys. So, I think they're out of it. I don't know how many more games they're gonna play, but we've heard that you were gonna be active a couple different times, and you really hadn't been active. So, it is what it is. Number 24, the Saints. Charlon. Let us remember him and his great words. Panthers is whack. As he went on to say that the league was not sim enough for him until Brown's Bugatti, shared with us that he said this in the other league, and they asked if he had ever got some ass, and I can ask the same question. And just an aside, I think a lot of times when people complain really hard about Madden, I really wonder about what else is going on in your life, man. I mean, there's too many things out here. This is a game. I mean, we have rules, and we try to be a sim league and all that. But lately, and I'll go into this more later on in another video. But we've had some things go on that just really make me wonder. This is meant to be entertainment. I mean, we gotta keep things in perspective, man. We really do. Anyways, we'll talk about more about that later. Number 23, grind mode in the Colts. Um, you know, unfortunately, he's playing better this year, but his division is a lot better too. So I don't see the playoffs in the future, but put up some numbers and throw the ball around. Number 22, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know, they're what can I say about the Bucks? In our game recently, I know he gets frustrated, but I've tried to give advice about different things, and I'll continue to do that to those that want to listen. But you just gotta keep playing, man. You gotta keep playing. I'm gonna leave it at that. Number 21, Atlanta Falcons. This is the younger brother of the Seahawks now. The previous Falcons owner left, funny enough, after they played the old Saints owner, Charlon, because he couldn't take an L. It's becoming a theme here. People that can't take L's, complain and then leave. But I don't know. Hopefully the new Falcons owner will be above board here. Number 20, Pittsburgh Steelers. Welcome back. You got your PS4 back. You said you were a jerk, and I don't think you're a jerk. But I just and I'll address it. I'll address it later. I don't want to get into that, but the Steelers have a lot of talent, but it's going to be a hard path for them to get into the playoffs after missing so many games. And then they lost to the Ravens the other day, so it's a tough path. Number 19 are the Pioneers in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's how you know it's a video game. Pioneers are only one game out in their division at 3-6 or something like that, which is unbelievable. But like I said, NFC North is wide open. Number 18, the division leader, somehow, the Detroit Lions, and I swear they've played like 3 games this year. I don't know how they're winning the division, but I think they're like 4-5 or 4-4 or something. But they lead the NFC North, so go figure. Who knows? Number 17 are the Redskins, and the Redskins are quietly having a better year. They're 4-5 right now. They beat the Jets earlier today, and that's good to see because he went on a long losing streak last year where he just couldn't catch a break, and he's a better player than that. So I'm glad to see that. Number 16, Old School, just went on a rant in the chat. I don't know if he's still talking or not, but y'all wanted him back. I'm looking right at you, all of you. So, like I said, he is who he is, and I accept it. He's actually a very nice guy. Number 15 are the Buffalo Bills, who have really done well with their offense here lately, with all the offensive talent they have. They're 4-4, I believe, and the question is going to be, will that defense be able to hold up in the big games going down the stretch to see if they get in the playoffs? That's going to be the key, because I think it's at the point now where they're going to score, but they just got to be able to stop people. And he's really picked up The middle linebacker, I can't remember his name offhand, but he's using him and getting a lot of interceptions. So, that's a good sign. Number 14, San Diego Chargers. I love the Golden Child. He's leading that offense out there, and I just wish that they were more active. Honestly, um, and I could say that for a few different teams on here. Um, but there's a lot of talent on that team, and I would love for them to get in it and make a run at it. But that's a very crowded division in the AFC West, because you're going to see it right here. Number 13, Kansas City Chiefs. Tristan has been very active. Appreciate all of his conversations and trades and such that he's made to bolster his roster in different ways. I don't know if he's trying to collect all the speed in the world at receiver, but he made a trade with the Pioneers, as a matter of fact, to get a receiver. I know he's got one out that's hurt, but that's a team that you got to watch. And if you're in the top of the AFC, you don't want to see them, I don't think, in the playoffs. It's hard to combat speed all over the place. It kind of limits what you can do defensively. Number 12 are the Diablos. Had a tough loss to the Texans here recently, but they're still, I think it's a three-way tie, actually, in that AFC West at 5-3. So, they're going to beat each other up coming down the stretch, and we'll see who takes it out there. Number 11 are the Browns, who lead the AFC North once again. Good team. I hadn't seen Amir Abdullah do as much as I thought he was going to do when they signed him in free agency. But they're right there, and I think they'll be in the playoffs again given the state of their division currently. Top 10, number 10, Seattle Seahawks. Man, tough luck losers. I gotta tell you, the game that we played the other day, I'm down 21-10 with like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's a 3rd and 30. I just got sacked, I think 2 times in a row, and we got pushed back to midfield. 3rd and 30, and he's up 11, and we're under 3 minutes now, and Cam drops back, and he sent a blitz on me. He went 0 blitz, and I got one of my speed guys behind, I think Cam Chancellor, and scored a touchdown. And then it was a 3rd and 2 when he got the ball back, and instead of running the ball, he threw it, and Xavier Rhodes picked it off. And then we went down and scored, and then we stopped him to end the game. So, like I told him, you live and learn in those situations. And, the one thing that you always do, and no matter who you're playing or what your team is, you never quit. Even on the commentating, when they went up 21-10, I heard Phil Simms on there say, I think that sealed it, the game's over. And I'm like, nah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm glad they ain't doing the commentating no more. Because it pissed me off. But anyways, they took the Rams down to the wire a couple times. I mean, they were right there with the 49ers. And that's a team, when we're in the NFC, you don't want to see come playoffs, because those kind of things tend to balance their way out. I remember a couple years ago when I got in the playoffs and we went on our revenge tour, and I was so motivated to get revenge on the teams that beat me in the same way in the regular season. So I hope, I think he's a very nice guy, but I hope he doesn't get in. I think that could happen. Number 9 are the London Bulldogs. Bulldogs are having their best season that I can remember. They're 6-3, and I think they're in a good position for a wild card. We'll look at that, a week or two down the line here when we get closer to the playoffs. But right now they're in a good position. Number 8 are the Lumberjacks. Lost a tough game last night to the Dallas Cowboys, but they're still in charge of that AFC East division. Defensively, they're still playing very well, but offensively, that's where it is. When you lose a lot of talent, you got to build it back up and kind of play a different way. Number 7 are the Houston Texans. They just got a good win over the Diablos, and they're still, I think they're one game behind the Jags in the AFC South, which has turned into a hell of a division, by the way, which is really good to see because for a long time the Texans just ran that division and ran away with it. Number 6 are the Dallas Cowboys. They're 7-2, and if they can continue to play their games, they have a shot at winning the division. They're a half game behind the Huskies, and the Huskies are going to be in a fair sim situation this week, so they could end up tied after this week's play for the division lead. And Cowboy fans have been so hungry for so many years in this league. Ever since Sanzo left early on, the early success they had, but it's been a lean couple years, but right now they're excited. We'll see if it lasts. Number 5 are those same Huskies, 7-1. They had a tough loss recently to the Bills. They're still in a very good position, but like I said, they got the Cowboys on their heels. But I think they're both going to be playoff teams unless there's a big, trip up here at the end. Number 4 are the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they're in the game of the week against myself, which will be played tomorrow, scheduled to be played tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Jags are really strong offensively with Malcolm Kenny at receiver, Evan Mason at quarterback, former Panther. I haven't seen them play much, so it's going to take me some adjusting to figure out what they like to do. But, I always think like a coach, and I'm going to try to take away Kenny the best way I know how. But he's a 97 speed guy, and there's only so much you can do. He puts up numbers for a reason. Number 3, myself, Carolina Panthers. We haven't played a ton this year, but we've kind of had to change how we play because we gave up Kevin White. I gave up the speed guy I had last year in the slot. The kid I got from Buffalo, he went to the Cardinals for draft picks. So we really made Spain a true number 1 receiver. I'm trying to get my tight end involved more because he's actually really talented. And another tight end I drafted to start development. I wish I had more time because they're both 6'6" and they both have 85 speed. So that could be really hell with a 2 tight end offense. But he's not really that ready for that big role yet. But we're trying to get them more involved in the offense. Then running the ball. I have a really good running back. He's a power guy. And, he averages about 5-6 yards a carry. I just don't give it to him that much. So I'm trying to do that more. But, we're in pretty good shape. Especially with our division. It's somewhat of a mess. Been a lot of turnover. Number 2, San Francisco 49ers, Sanzo. Sanzo is going to the Navy, so if you get a chance, thank him for making that decision because it's not easy. So he's going to leave at some point. Don't know exactly when that's going to happen. I'm hoping we can get through the season and he can finish that out before he leaves because he's got a really good team and he's having a really good year. But he always does things a little differently on offense every time you play him, which is a bit of a challenge. And that's why he's a good player. And then, of course, his defensive skills are very good as well. Number 1 still, the St. Louis Rams, or LA Rams. I'm going to call them LA Rams. I don't care. That's where they are now. And I played Jimmy actually after this Jaguars game. I got 2 tough games in a row. So, it'll be a nice, fun matchup. I'm sure it'll be game of the week also. And it's out there in LA. I call it LA. So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun game, of course. So those are the power rankings. And stay tuned because we're going to have another video here talking about everyone's favorite topic of Madden 17. And I hope everyone watches that as well. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.